Experience tranquility.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another wonderful match of Overwatch Tranquility. Tonight, we've got some Harmony tier action coming right at you as number 2 Elusion takes on number 7 Careless Pandas in the rematch that I've been dying to see. Tonight, your casters will be me, Door at Door_OW on Twitter, and we got Juke with us. Juke, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Really looking forward to getting back into casting and seeing this great matchup.
Of course, Juke on the analyst desk with us. We will be having Poet producing for us tonight. Don't be too rude to him. It's his first time. Wish him all the luck you can. But of course, getting into this match is going to be a really important one. Our quarterfinal match. Careless Pandas have a lot to prove, and given their prior matchup against Elusion, it's going to prove to be a rough one. Do you want to break down that last match for us?
Yeah, last match, it looks like everything was going Elusion's favor. And then after 2 maps, C-Man showed up. Careless Pandas really brought it back. They put up a good fight. But Elusion was able to take it 3-2, and they looked so strong the last few weeks, not only against Careless Pandas, but against Vitamin C being the only team to take a win off them in the regular season.
Yeah, beating Vitamin C, I mean, as much as it means for Elusion themselves, I think it really just proves how volatile Harmony can be. And it really just breaks the entire bracket open. It means anybody can win this. And I think for Careless Pandas, honestly, Elusion beating Vitamin C, as scary as it is, I think it does maybe up their hopes a little bit of winning the whole thing. And if they can beat Elusion, that means, you know, it's possible to beat Vitamin C. But in that matchup, you did mention to me earlier that Elusion won both of the control points, which can be a massive advantage coming into a series this long, having something that you'll play twice like that. Do you want to break that down for me?
Yeah, Elusion just looked like they were able to make more of the sort of scrappy play that you see a lot more in these control maps. They were making very smart decisions about when to contest and when to stall, doing a good job using their ultimates to win fights and to get more control percentage. Careless Pandas, yeah, I have, like you said, C-Man just looked incredible in their last game against Elusion, and he's here now to start out the match, and we'll see if that makes a big difference.
Yeah, one of the biggest things I noticed with C-Man is it's not necessarily his clutch plays, although he's very consistent and clutches when he needs to. You don't see him making very many proactive big plays so much as clutching out seemingly lost situations. But I feel like the team really rallies around him. In that close 2-3 loss up against Elusion earlier in the season, it was around him right when he came in at halftime that he really made an impact, not just in his own play, but in the team's play as a whole. They really seemed to be able to position around him and play around him themselves. However, coming into this match, the first map is going to be Lijiang Tower, which we didn't see Careless Pandas and Elusion play in their last series.
Yeah, that's right. Lijiang is. I don't think there's anything very unique about Lijiang compared to the other CP maps. So you have to favor Elusion on this one, seeing as they were able to take both the last time they played. I think that tanks can make a big difference in these control point maps because it can be so chaotic as compared to assault or escort. Where there's a very fixed point of entry. Control is a lot more loose, so we're going to be looking towards player to see what he can do for Elusion to carry them through on control point again.
Yeah, I think this is a really smart pick from Elusion, picking up this Lijiang Tower early, because one of the biggest struggles that we saw in these two series a couple weeks ago was Elusion really struggling to deal with the Bastion that Careless Pandas was putting out and bringing it to Lijiang Tower and offering up all these slightly off meta Reinhardt, Symmetra comps, all sorts of crazy stuff you can run. I think it's going to play to their advantage a lot as far as the map pool goes. But Careless Pandas, of course, if they do end up losing this match, they will have the counter pick on the map, so they can always start running it back their way. But a good way to start off the series for Elusion. But I have to ask, overall, who do you have taken this one?
I definitely have Elusion taking this one. Not just based on the way they played against Careless Pandas last time these teams matched up. Not just because they are the only team to beat Vitamin C and they are coming off a hot win 2 weeks ago. I think they've just proven that they're a very consistent, very good team.
Of course. And I'd have to say my prediction, it's a little bit out there, but I'm going to say Careless Pandas, not for any real reason. I think they'll be able to rally around C-Man tonight. I think it's going to be a close match for sure, but something of a gut feeling here. I'm feeling Careless Pandas. They're on a roll, and they look hungry for a win as we get into this Lijiang Tower map.
Yeah, and it looks like we will be starting on Control Center, so lots of small choke points where teams could be looking to take advantage of a Mei, maybe even a Junkrat. We see lots of Rein Zarya on this map. But I think the thing we should expect the most is just plain old double shield. It's very reliable, very standard. That said, Harmony tier is definitely the place where you could see the meta breakdown the most. I think it's most based on individual performance, individual preference, and individual players sort of carrying people through.
And as far as individual players go, Elusion is absolutely stacked. And like you mentioned, this one probably going to end up coming down to the tank matchup, and no tank line in Harmony looks more stacked than Elusion right now. Player regarded as one of the best mid-season pickups, along with Nixall, have looked absolutely insane. And Yeti and Bebop have quite the challenge on their hands. It's going to be double shield into Rein Zarya. What do you think this means for Pandas in particular?
If they stay with these, then it's going to rely on really good play from C-Man, though wall placements when you're running against a Rein Zarya can make a big difference. Choosing when to keep the Rein Zarya out or choosing when to try and collapse and separate somebody. And we'll see as it looks like they'll be meeting in connector.
Not quite, as it looks like Careless Pandas just want to take the point immediately. Player forced to drop down. Obviously, the punch will go in, not landing on anybody. It's just going to be a nice little reset as player looks to gain a little bit of ground on top of Careless Pandas.
Yeah, questionable wall there, not really getting any value, but he is going to be able to have it again, as it looks like the Doomfist getting into the back lines, but Kurt just getting right on him with that Reaper, doing so much damage.
Mei getting out of the fight from the allowed sustain gun, but Nebby taking out player could be even more impactful. Kurt trading though right back onto the off tank for Pandas. Hills going absolutely both ways. Black Ninja though will be the next man to go down. Yeti the main tank for Careless Pandas though dropping. So little health left on this point, and Nebby just needs to find a little bit more value, but it looks like he's just going to go down. The first point flip goes to Elusion.
Yeah, it can be really hard to reset if you're not getting good value out of your first Doomfist punch or your first Mei wall running the double shield into the Rein Zarya. They did a great job capitalizing and really closing the distance when that wall did not separate and did not keep anybody out. So good job by Elusion.
Probably going to live and die by C-Man's Mei here, and he hasn't been getting that value out of the walls like you need, and going out first on the Mei is not the most useful thing in the world, but the Gravitic Flux does come in. It lands on 4 members of Elusion, but the fight not going to be going down yet. Nebby left on the ground and will be the first man to go out of this fight. Careless Pandas down 5 versus 6 as Elusion looks to push out of this point and find a few more.
Oh, and a huge ultimate from Kurt. Looked like Bebop had already used the grasp there, and when that happens, yeah, Reaper just knows it's time to shine. He gets in the back line and tears him up.
I don't even think you're too mad about that if you're Pandas. That Reaper ultimate, seemingly a little bit unnecessary, as Elusion had already won that fight for the most part. However, Elusion going to look to hold this choke a little bit more aggressively this time. Now that the Shatter is going to be coming up at about 40% per player, if he can hit a good fire strike here, he can get a lot more percent, but the Maywall will be cutting so much. Careless Pandas off as 3 get pulled into the Graviton Surge, and the Reinhardt swinging through, finding kill after kill. It's going to be another fight going the way of Elusion.
Yeah, and that's a huge fight for Elusion, getting great value out of the wall, just using the grab after that for the follow-up, and that's going to allow them to build some ultimate percentage, as it looks like Bebop has to switch over.
Oh, and the Shatter from player fights. 2, followed up, though, by the Blizzard, trading right back. C-Man using it wisely to gain themselves a little bit of space. Black Ninja looking to be the next man to go down, but his wall's going to save himself for just a little bit longer. Player, though, stuck outside of the point. 1v1ing Yeti. Yeti, though, still alive. The point will flip the way of Careless Pandas in the last possible minute.
Yeah, I'm really not sure what happened there. It looks like T-Quen had to go and get the backdoor touch just to keep the map alive after Bebop swapped to Hamster and wasn't able to get it himself. I don't know if Elusion panicked and had people turning around and some people going in. But yeah, amazing that they were able to win that fight essentially 5 or 6, as it looks like Elusion coming back with the cast.
Yeah, I think Elusion really failed to take advantage of the fact that Careless Pandas were down a man for that fight and stuck on point. However, this fight, right on point, is going to be going down the front as the Bongo dropped both shield up. Player just trying to get in, trying to get the damage. He charges in. Bebop not going to be found, though. If Yeti forced out of his fortified, pardon me. The Accretion tries to land on next ult, but he will bubble it to block it. The kills, though, still going in the way of Careless Pandas. This point not over yet.
Yeah, and really doing a better job here from Careless Pandas using their important cooldowns, the Fist Punch, the Maywall, and just extending the fights long enough that it's really hard to get value out of something like the Reaper or the May from Elusion afterwards. The staying power here for Careless Pandas.
C-Man finding an early pick on an Ixal. That's a great pick for them if they can find a wall and maybe find 1 or 2 more people here. That could gain them so much value.
Yeah, it looks like ultimate situation, there's a lot coming up for both teams. Not really sure how they're going to be able to get back into this one. Oh, questionable wall. Does keep them out, though. So Black Ninja, yeah, just looking to reset for his team as we're heading into the last fight.
I think the biggest questions here is how are they going to combo with Bebop's Gravitic Flux? And it looks like they won't even need it. As the Blizzard comes in, it's absolutely massive, landing on the 3 people. Maybe trying to take out Player. The Sound Barrier used to help out with the Death Blossom. However, the point will be touched by the side of Elusion. It's ticking down 99 to 99%. The Blizzard coming out for Elusion. 2 members caught in the Graviton, but it will be Bebop peeling for the rest of his team with that Accretion, and it looks like Careless Pandas is going to turn this point around all the way. Last minute touch, Kurt alive just a little bit longer. 2 more members coming in. Honey having tons of heals on the Moira, but he will be taken out. Player has so many shields, but it's not going to be enough as he gets frozen off the point. The point ticks down overtime, and the first point of Li Zhang going the way of Careless Pandas.
Yeah, good disciplined play there from Careless Pandas. Keeping the right abilities ready to go to stop the ultimates like the Death Blossom coming in from Kurt on Elusion. So I'm sure Elusion really wants that one back. I think they overextended a bit when they were trying to just stall and keep them from getting to the point, and then I think they did panic trying to get back. Careless Pandas is a great turnaround as they're able to take that one 99 to 100, and we head into Night Market.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that we can take to note there is the point where Elusion ended up losing the point. Careless Pandas were completely split, but Elusion split themselves even further, and maybe that lack of coordination just shows a little bit of a chink in their armor. This number 2 team coming in, it looks beatable. You know, as they say, they can bleed, you can win.
Yeah, and it looks like both teams electing for the Devil Shield now. But Careless Pandas will get there first with Nebby on the Symmetra. We'll see if they're able to take her out before she's able to build up. Those turrets really keeping them closed in at the choke points.
Black Ninja looking for an angle in on this point, but Bebop doing such a good job shielding him off, but it doesn't matter because the frontal assault is going to be going the way of Elusion. But trading right back is Nebby. That Symmetra looking so charged, but he does go down. The DPS lowering significantly for Careless. Just trying to stay alive on this point. They've got 1 support and 2 tanks, and they can only take so much damage. Waiting for the reinforcements to come in, but Teekman going down means no heals for Careless Pandas. The Seaman can touch the point just a little bit longer, keeping them alive. Will be Screwy Louie, but they're just going to look to get off this point and get away.
Yeah, at least able to get good percentage there from Careless Pandas, but it seems like they weren't quite sure how to deal with the double threat of the Reaper coming in from main with Black Ninja on the Pharah poking them from behind. It looked like they were going to come ahead with Nebby getting serious damage done on that Symmetra, but they shut him down, and after that, they really had no chance.
Okay, the Coalescence will be used to engage. There's a very aggressive fight coming out from Careless Pandas, using it to take out Nixel, going to push all the way to this point. And it's going to be all up to Black Ninja here. His barrage is up. He's going to be looking to use it, and he uses it over top. Does he find 1? Kill will be all he gets from it. Bebop, though, still alive. They do have a shield. They're going to look to push this point. Player does not have anything to hide behind, but Honey looking for the res. He will land it on a crit. The Reaper back alive. Going to be able to find a lot of kills here, but Drugs Out Hugs going down to Nebby, and Nebby absolutely fragging out, taking out all the supports. Black Ninja and Kurt going to be cleaning up the rest of Careless Pandas.
Yeah, and a really great job by Kurt there, just preventing them from getting through that door. I believe Bebop had already used the grasp. He kept the rock ready, but by the time he was able to hit Kurt, that Death Blossom had really torn them apart. So, looking at the ultimate situation, Yeti does have the bongo, but it looks like the same for both teams as they pop at the door and try to push through.
Time the same exact thing, going the opposite direction. The Coalescence used to engage, followed up with the bongo. It's going to be a lot of damage going on the door. Of course, the halt to pull them right back out. That's just going to be a fight reset.
Yeah, and Drugs Not Hug showing that bongo Coalescence combo just does so much damage, just pushing through everyone on your team, ignoring those shields, and really burning people down, opening things up. Looks like Careless is coming in.
Not over yet. Careless Pens with 5 ultimates on the board. They're going to be throwing out the sound barrier as well as the Graviton or Gravitic Flux. Seaman, though, going to be looking for something with that Meteor Strike. Not going to be finding anything, but he can frag out on the point on a player and Honey. 4 kills for Seaman, coming in absolutely clutch there at 95%.
Yeah, it looks like both teams exhausting almost all of their ultimates, but Yeti here with the Supercharger is great ultimate to have when it's the only thing you have, because it can charge everybody else up so quick, and it's one of the most fight-winning ultimates in play, as Yeti pops it here, and they just try to hold him at the door.
Finding 2 kills, that's going to be enough to hold him off for just a little bit longer, 47%, the point taking down. Elusion's got a few more pushes here, but it certainly puts Careless Pandas in a much better position than they were in the starting match.
Yeah, but now they are with no ultimates. They don't have the best lineup to hold, but it can be hard to retake with Pharah. We'll see what Black Ninja is able to do with this barrage. There's lots available to stop, as it looks like Elusion trying to go over the top.
No, I think a big thing to watch out here is going to be Drugs Not Hugs using that Coalescence, and Black Ninja are going to be trying to take as much advantage of the discord caused by the Coalescence as he can. Of course, Careless Pandas is going to be forced to relocate if the Coalescence is dropped, and it will be used to engage. And they're going to be looking for something. Black Ninja peeking in the side window, finding the kill onto the support. Careless Pandas are going to look to engage just a little bit more, but Careless Pandas getting a little bit split. Kurt in the back line, going to be forced to Wraith form out if he has it. No, as the accretion lands onto it with the barrage, is going to be enough, taking out Bebop. Kurt, though, trading on the Screwy Louie. Nebby just finding Black Ninja. And the point will be ticked right back over for Elusion, 95%.
Yeah, Teekman getting picked off very early there by a great concussion from Black Ninja. It's rare that you see a Pharah is able to take down a Lucio with environmentals. Yeah, it looks like that's going to do it. Seaman and looks like Player fighting up there, as Player was able to use the Orisa block, the Orisa Gold, to stop the punch from coming in to get in the rest of his team. And like I mentioned earlier, if you don't get the initial pick with the Doomfist, the way his skills work right now, it can be very hard to reset. So after that, they just pushed in with the Valkyrie from Honey on that damage boost. It's just more than they can handle.
Now first map, Lijiang coming up 1-1 means we're in for one hell of a series. Coming in here to Lijiang Gardens, we can see a lot of wacky stuff, but Yeti and Bebop on the Winston Hammond might be one of the most interesting things we get to see tonight. Of course, Player and Nixel running the exact same thing on their side. What are both these teams going to be looking to do into one another?
It's hard to say. With a Winston Hammond, you're really just looking to open things up. But if Nebby gets a lot of time, he's going to really put a lot of pressure on this Pharah coming in from Black Ninja. So it's just going to be about who gets better positioning, as it looks like Elusion had the inside of the point. It's much easier to defend, even with dives. So they should be at the advantage here as the fight pushes on.
One of the biggest things I found with this Winston Hammond comp is the first team to take the point over. It is so hard to retake. Both these teams able to get back on the point so quickly. Bebop looking to go in on the backline, looking to stop that point from taking over, but it will go in Elusion's favor. Seaman looking to find something, but Player who's slamming down onto the back line, and no kills going either way yet. Not much damage from either of these compositions. Both teams, though, looking to engage. The Coalesce will be first for Careless Pandas. It looks like Elusion just wants to disengage. Nixall taking a lot of damage and looking to drop the beat, but not going to be doing anything as Honey and Drugs Not Hugs both taken out. The support's gone for Elusion. The brush comes in from Black Ninja, but it only finds one. Trick right back onto by Nebby. Kurtho taking out Tequan mid-res, finding two more with the Death Blast, and this point's not over yet. Two members alive. The Careless Panda looking to just find these last little kills, but the point not ticked over yet. The Vibes coming in for Elusion. They're looking to not give this one up yet, but Careless Panda's all looking to come back on the point. Kukuri Louie healing as much as he can. Yeti barely staying alive, and both of the mines dropped for either side. Bebop, though, finding all the value, taking out Nixall. That's one tank down for Elusion, and they're trying to shred through all this health.
Yeah, but a big res coming in from Honey, as looks like the Careless Panda is just not able to take the point. Even in dive versus dive, the team that's able to get the control point first just at such a huge advantage. Seaman doing what he can with the Doomfist, but it just takes so long. There's so many targets flying around, it's hard for him to get much done.
69%, and we're only one long fight into this game. Screwy taking out Honey, though, does not read. Good for the side of Elusion, though. Player trading right back onto him. We've got heals alive for both sides, and both tanks on the point going around everywhere, but the beat is dropped for Elusion, keeping them alive for just a little bit longer. It will allow Player to take out Tequan as well as Bebop and Yeti to go down. Careless Pan is finally forced off this point.
Yeah, Drugs Not Hugs electing to just use that beat because there's no big ultimates that they need to be afraid of coming in from Careless Pandas. 5% left. This is final fight territory. Mines coming in from Player just to stall things out on the brick side. And another big ultimate from Kurt as he's able to push everyone away. And it looks like Elusion will be taking control 2-1 here on Lijiang Tower.
Victory.
Now we saw it in their series earlier, those control points so devastating for Elusion. However, coming into the next map, I believe it should be Assault, which a little bit more up Careless Panda's alleyway, but some big plays, especially out of the DPS from Elusion, really coming in clutch there. And I think playing consistently is honestly the biggest thing that they're doing. Seaman on and off finding picks, but we really haven't seen anything special from Careless Panda's DPS yet.
Yeah, I think Seaman did a good job when they were running the double shield on Control Center, but it's just difficult to run a Doomfist against dive. Everybody's moving so fast, it's so hard to predict where you need to charge up that long delay on your punch now. I would have liked to see him swap to something else. I think he's a capable player on just about anything, and limiting him on this Doomfist against the dive is not making the best use of him.
Now, where do you think Careless Pandas want to take this next map? Of course, we saw Elusion struggle to play against the Bastion, and there's a few options in here for Assault. Of course, Temple of Anubis, a notable one, but Hanamura and Volskaya, some interesting maps, and I'm not sure they play perfectly into the favor of Pandas.
If I'm Pandas, I'm happy with how the double shield performed. I think they might want to get off the sim and just focus on, the very straightforward heroes. Just put another Reaper against Kurt's Reaper. See if you're able to shut him down that way, because he was really getting a lot done.
He was coming up with ultimate after ultimate, and when the fights are that grindy, it really will come into how much healing, how much health, and how much damage you can pull out of it. But Panda's going to be looking to take it to Temple of Anubis. Lots of double shield stress for them to be running on the map. They didn't look too comfortable on the dive, but they looked like they felt like they had to play it on Lijiang Garden when maybe it wasn't the wisest decision. The Temple of Anubis opens up a lot of options for Seaman to play different things. I think is one of the biggest things. I've seen him on Pharah. I've seen him on Widow. I've seen him on all sorts of crazy stuff. And I want to see what he pulls out here. What do you think he's going to go for?
It really depends. Careless to Pandas will be on the offense first, and it's gonna depend what they run up against. I believe you were saying Illusion is a team that might favor the Bastion defense. Have you seen them run that before?
No, they struggle up against Careless Panda's Bastion defense. It was the
Mm.
Bastion defense that actually nearly took the series back for them earlier on in the season. And Illusion looked like they had no clue what to do. And honestly, Careless Pandas looked more put together on the Bastion comp than anything else. However, this map pool, not the most favoring of Bastion, but I think one of the biggest things that I've seen on Temple of Anubis as a trend of recent is the Junkrat can put in so much damage into these chokes. And of course, the tires charging up so quickly can offer a lot of quick fight wins. And I think Careless Pandas could really use more of those.
Yeah,
But coming
indeed.
in,
Just getting the teams shuffled up. I think they're about ready.
now it will be Elusion subbing in Gecko for Black Ninja, which I think is an interesting swap considering Black Ninja, I feel, had a pretty decent impact. Maybe not the same amount as Kurt there, but he was definitely a threat. And I think Careless Pandas was certainly noting his presence the entirety of the time. But no tank substitutions for Illusion. Of course, that tank line of player Nixall proving so strong. I think Careless Pandas felt very pressured by them, especially on that dive map. Player looked a lot more competent on the Hammond, the Wrecking Ball. But on Temple of Anubis, that doesn't matter. Of course, you can run the Rhine Zarya on attack, which I think is probably what Illusion's going to go for. They looked like they wanted to be a bit more comfortable on it. But Careless Pandas, of course, probably going to be wanting to run that double shield, possibly the Bastion. It looks like we're just about ready to get this match set up. Oh, pardon me. No, we're not. Sorry, some lobby issues. Teams looking to put in more subs and more subs. However, it will be Loyalty subbing, or Loyalty Basis subbing out Tequin, trying to shift up that support line just a little bit. And of course, I think if you're Careless Pandas, this is a smart move. Making a few differences after a loss. If nothing else, it just changes the scenery. It says, okay, well, we lost that map. It was close, but, you know, don't tilt. We'll put in a couple more players, fresh minds, fresh hands, and they can try and pull out the win on Temple of Anubis.
Yeah, Temple of Anubis, I think, is a map where team cohesion, team play, and strategy can make a much bigger difference than on others. It's just so choked up. You really need to work together to sort of open up the map on attack and find ways to get in there. So we'll see what the teams opt to do. I feel like there's a lot of different options on Temple of Anubis offense. We can see Pharah's work. We can see sometimes snipers because there's it can be hard to access them. There are very long sight lines if you're able to get into the right position.
As it looks like they're going to load out on the Orisa Sigma, along with the May and Symmetra. A little bit of an interesting comp here, but I think this might just be a wise pick into the Bastion of Gecko coming out of Illusion. I haven't gotten to see them play Bastion yet. A little bit of a new look for them, playing exactly what was the bane of them, but looks like it might just work out.
Yeah, interesting year from Careless Pandas on the attack. Generally, when I see a Symmetra on offense, I want to see like an offensive bunker. You know, just see if you're able to squeeze out some extra efficiency in that attack and make it work. But it looks like they might just be trying to get past the Bastion here from Gecko on Elusion. We'll see if they're able to find a way to make that work. If they put up the wall and they just try to speed through into that first corner. But they do use the eye field as well. They're very low on resources.
Vulnerability field down. They're looking to reset instruments a little bit. Whatever strategy this is coming out of Careless Pandas, you can tell they practice it. They know exactly where they want to go and deal. Just trying to hold on this point. The wall goes down, walling them all inside the room. Maybe not exactly what they're looking for, but a player dropping low might have just been the reason they're going to have to wait for cooldowns. Kurt going to be contesting the point. The wall goes in, but it's not going to be much value. Symmetra turrets rain down onto the ice block. Kurt and the Symmetra teleporter goes on the high ground. Nebby going to be raining in walls from everywhere, but Nixall holding on his point, making sure it doesn't take over. No progress yet made for Careless Pandas. They're stuck in the corner's point, but this Bastion's going to start getting value soon as he starts shredding through the health bars of Careless Pandas. Kurt looking for the freeze on the bebop, but with big accretion, it's going to be finding him frozen, looking to try and finish off that kill, but it will be the kill going down for Gecko and Nixall. First, the Bastion combo grinding out Careless Pandas.
Yeah, some interesting choices there. I like the way they executed on Careless Pandas, but you just have to be so efficient in find a way to get things done. It's very difficult without your own Bastion. I'll have to note the way Seaman was dropping the walls perpendicular to Gecko instead of, so you showed the side was kind of interesting. So that way he has to block through, break through multiple ice blocks to get through. I thought that was kind of cool. But even with the window coming in from loyalty bases, they're just not able to match the damage of that Bastion, as now a lot of ultimates coming out from Elusion, and they can spare it because they were able to build up so many.
Looking for the same setup, Nixall looks to counter with the Gravitic Flux, but he doesn't find anybody at all as the Gravitic Flux just ticks down. And Careless Pandas just take this back room. Oh, but a massive accretion on a Tequin, finding the back of his head. That can't have felt good. Nixall, though, getting cornered into this point. If they can take out the signal, they can take out the point pressure that Elusion has, but they won't be able to get it in time. Is Kurt and Gecko this time finding the kills that Elusion need?
Yeah, Careless Pandas are doing a good job getting into that room, but from there, I'm not sure they have a next step to make this work. Gecko is able to put so much pressure on their shields, they can't really leave to contest as Kurt and Nick from Elusion just stand on the point. There's really not too much to stop them, so Careless Pandas getting into a decent position, but I'm not sure what step 2 is to make it work and clear the point completely.
Careless Pandas, of course, they do have that blizzard coming up. This is probably their one opportunity to pull it off, but the teleporter goes down, and the wall going to be sticking them in a position they do not want to be in. The invulnerability field, keeping them alive just a little bit longer. The Arisen Fortify, though, forced out as Kurt uses blizzard on the point, and will be loyalty bases going down because of it. Nixall finds another accretion onto Nebby. Nebby dropping nice and low, but the kills going both ways. Tequin, though, finding Drugs not hugs, and the res comes onto Gecko, though. The Bastion's still alive for Elusion, not done yet. This defense looks so hard to break, and the kills rolling all in favor of Elusion. Seaman not quite done looking for a freeze under the Bastion. Gecko, though, still alive, kept alive by Ivy Cat. That Mercy in the Sky been absolutely clutch for them so far on this point, and all he needs to do is be a threat. Gecko needs to get targeted and allow his tanks to stay alive a little bit longer so that everybody else can come alive as he uses that transformate configuration tank. And the kills him in the way of Infinity and Loyalty bases. It seems like they're not able to grind it out long enough. Drugs not hugs looking to hold the point just a little bit longer. Wins it from Nixall, able to get on, but the invulnerability field keeping alive just a tick more, but the point finally going the way of Careless Pandas.
Yeah, I was a little worried there for Pandas, the way they were just sort of popping the ults as they got them. It didn't look terribly coordinated, and they sort of recovered from a bad position after half the team went through the TP and half the team didn't. But yeah, just able to turn it around, and the ultimates are reset. And it looks like Elusion will be getting off of the Bastion, electing to go for a Reaper Pharah defense. At this time, there's not a great answer for that Pharah, so we'll see what Gecko is able to do, as he's really going to be able to hammer down a lot of damage into that line.
Alright, does have a good few angles on this point, but the skybox is notably low. Everybody is a threat to this far right now. As the teleporter goes in, Nebby gonna be looking for something, but his teleporter gets taken out as he's stranded on this high ground right now.
Oh, he's able to take out the Pharah, though. Forces Ivy to go for the res.
And it looks like Pandas are gonna push off the back of this. Seaman looking to try and freeze out Kurt, but Kurt getting the better of him. And the kills all of a sudden turning right back around in the way of Elusion. Of course, that window coming out from Drugs Not Hugs is going to be a massive player, and that the damage amplified massively out of Gecko. Those rockets dealing so much, and Kurt in on the backline. This can't help but spell disaster for Pandas.
Yeah, it was interesting there. So Nebby was able to get up to the high ground on the Symmetra and actually challenge Gecko on the Pharah. I thought he was doomed from the get-go. But yeah, from there, I'm not sure Careless Pandas really have a step 2. It looks like they're getting into good positions, being very decisive on where they want to go, but they're just getting kind of caught up with without a final step to finish off the point. It can be very difficult to clean out these 2 CP maps, especially on point B, but I'd like to see a little more decisiveness out of them, saving up for 2 ultimates and really making it happen as they're trying to make a push here from cave.
This will be their one opportunity with an ultimate advantage. The Coalition comes in. Gecko will get taken out immediately out of it. Ivy Cat's going to be looking for the res here, but the kill comes down so far forward, and the blizzard going to be used to follow it up. Nixall gets frozen out of the air, and the sound barrier comes out from Tequin, keeping it alive from that Gravitic Flux. But the damage not quite in. Ivy Cat finding the res onto Kurt. That's a lot of damage back alive for Elusion. As Careless Pandas forced back into this room, they can't play the Jefferson as they wanted, and that ultimate advantage seemingly gone. All of a sudden, Careless Pandas with 51 seconds left. Need to find a way to break this point.
Yeah, and as I was saying, it can typically take multiple ultimates to clean out the point. They use the Blizzard from Careless Pandas, and now Seaman is going to be swapping over to the Reaper. He's not going to have enough time to build up that Death Blossom, so they're really going to be relying on the Bongo from Infinity to just try to pressure down the shield. So we'll see if Kurt is able to get a big ultimate. It's going to be a battle of Kurt against Bebop to see if he's able to stop this Death Blossom.
Kurt has had an absolutely massive night with these Death Blossoms, but his Wraith form getting forced out early does not spell good for him, as the Invulnerability Force out for Elusion as well. Seaman teeping in the back end, gonna be looking for kills, and they're all the way of Careless Pandas. Bebop finding a decent enough Gravitic Flux. Gonna be finding the last couple kills as the point ticks down. This is exactly what they needed. Not quite overtime, probably what they were wanting, but they'll take it.
Yeah, and Reaper can really come down to whether or not you have those cooldowns available, and they forced out the Wraith, so he had to play defensive from there. He saw the Sigma coming up from Bebop as he was going for the Gravitic Flux. He was walking in, but the rest of his team was just able to melt down Kurt. So yeah, great job there from Careless Pandas, able to get it. But they're only able to do it in overtime. So there's a win condition now for Elusion as they head on their own attack.
I think interestingly enough, as much as the attackers really know where they need to get, know that they need to beat this map with some time left, I honestly think this win is in Careless Pandas' hands. Whether or not they can play what is likely a Bastion comp, if I've seen enough of their matches, what is likely a Bastion comp here, well enough to hold off the Elusion push for so long. We've seen them run it before, and of course, they just look so much more coordinated on the Bastion. The question is, how well does it stand up to an Elusion coming off a victory against Vitamin C? And it's going to be the real one.
Yeah, so we'll see here what the teams choose to do. Possibly another Bastion defense. So they are choosing to do it with... I believe this is the same thing Elusion was running. And they're looks like they're doing it in the same position. So Elusion will, it looks like, not be opting for the same kind of Symmetra get past the Bastion. They might just be trying to get directly on top of it. But a bit questionable for Ivycat running the Mercy here. I think if you're going to be running double shield on offense, you want the Lucio to actually get you into a position where you can hunker down.
Looks like they don't need a Lucio, they just need a Mei to wall off that Bastion, but the value is coming in. The shields are getting shredded beside of Elusion. They just need to get inside of this room, but player stuck outside of it needs to use another Mei wall to get in.
All right, and they are able to get decent position here, but again, without the Lucio, it's going to be hard to cover this distance. Nebi's just going to be able to lay down so much damage, punishing those shields from Elusion. And I'm not sure how they're going to be able to make this next step happen. Even if Gecko is able to put down a wall. Oh, but he gets picked off by Seaman.
And all of a sudden, Elusion just stuck in this room, a long walk ahead of them all the way up to Nebi, as it looks like they're just going to walk back out of here and try and get their Mei back into this fight. Yeah. A nice wall, though, cutting off Drugs. Now Hug's going to be letting one more kill come in. Just a bit longer.
Yeah, and I don't want to dwell on it too long. I'd really like to see the swap come in. Okay, cool. So now they're going to be going for a double shield with Junkrat and Pharah, but I'm not sure that's going to be able to compete with what they have.
Nebi is coming up on his transfer, on his what's it, configuration tank, I believe, is what it's called, as he does set back up on his bridge. This long road still ahead of him. As they look to split up a little bit more this far, Junkrat comes in, looks to spam onto Nebi, shred maybe around these shields, bounce some nades, get some of that splash damage onto the Bastion. But they're just going to reposition back to the back corner at this point. All of a sudden, this strategy from Careless Panda is looking a little bit shaky. The invulnerability field forced out, going to get taken down early. Nebi, though, set up, holding onto this point. Gecko finding loyalty base is the first step, though, that Elusion needed to take this one, and taking out Bebop will be the next, as it looks like all is done but the crying for Careless Pandas here on point A.
Yeah, and a great job there from Elusion. Once they saw that the eye field was down, they were immediately on top of that Bastion. That is the go sign when you're playing against a Baptiste. I like to say he's a hero with two ultimates, the eye field and the window. They're just both so important to making this character work. And yeah, once they saw that was down, they were able to collapse and make it work. Careless Pandas, sorry, Elusion with 4:35 left on the clock here as they move into cave and try to make it work.
Now, while Careless Pandas might be around 3 ultimates here, I believe actually Elusion are coming up on some much more impactful ones with Gravitic Flux at 97%. And I bet you they're going to look to combo it with the Barrage. Maybe getting the window that's going to force Elusion back just a little bit longer. Alright, the invulnerability field forced out for Careless Pandas as Elusion decides it's their time to push. The Gravitic Flux comes out, gonna be finding Juke from inside of Careless Pandas, and the kill goes down on an enemy. Looking for the res will be Tequin, but the barrage is big enough, gonna be finding both the tanks, Careless Pandas, and that res will be coming out onto Kurt instead for Elusion. Tequin is looking to do something, does find a res onto Infinity. The Arista Alive could hold on this point just a little bit longer. With 3 minutes and 51 seconds left on the clock, it looks like Elusion are going to want to take this one with some style. Nebi though on the tracer getting a decent bit of time. Devo still alive. Tequin of course keeping alive just a little bit longer on this Mercy, giving providing him a lot of value. Seaman needs to start getting kills on this McCree. He has to re-rain to the point, and he finds a kill on the Gecko. That's the first thing they're going to need here. Sports though down, Infinity looking to hold on to this point. Nebi back up on this tracer. The hold can go for a good while here, but when all the kills are going the way of Elusion, it's not looking good for Careless Pandas. They need picks and they need them now. And this tire almost certainly spells doom if you're Careless Pandas. Infinity last man left alive on point, and it ticks down. 3 minutes and 18 seconds left, and it doesn't matter. Elusion take map 2.
Hello.
Not quite yet. They are going to have to win on the attack, but they have 3:12 to do it. The worst they can do here is a draw if Careless Pandas is able to hold them for the whole duration. And yeah, an interesting strat there. Interesting strat there from Elusion, just kind of running overwhelming damage. Really not much mobility to speak of. But they were able to make it work, just pressure out the key abilities from Careless Pandas, so that way they didn't have what they needed when, they just kind of waddled in with their Junkrat and poured down all that damage onto the Bastion.
Now, I like this little bit of a swap up from Careless Pandas, but do you think it's going to be enough to stop all of this damage that Elusion are looking to put out?
It depends on what Elusion sticks with. One of the things about defense that makes it so hard on first point 2 CP, and one of the reasons it's going to be such a struggle here for Careless Pandas, is that they can just see what you're running, move back to spawn, and switch. So if there's something they like to sort of cancel out this Pharah, get on top of the Bastion when they don't have a Mei supporting, they can just scout that out and make it happen. So it's going to be up to Elusion here to make the right decisions and find something that's going to work against this Careless Pandas Bastion Pharah defense.
Oh my god! Gecko, the madman, flings himself up and finds a kill onto loyalty basis. Already not starting out well for Careless Pandas here, as Elusion gets to move through this tunnel for free.
Yeah, and I didn't see if Tequin just elected not to use the res, but they're already one down. Gecko with a great position up here on the bridge. He's buying them so much space. They really have to respect this Pharah. And because of that, they're able to walk all the way up to the point. And they might be able to... Okay, it looks like Loyalty Base is able to get back to his team, swapping over to the Moira for that fade.
The vulnerability field not available, but there will be a decent amount of heals, not the biggest downgrade on this Moira, but they do need to maintain point presence here, as Kurt constantly a threat from above. Seaman though finding the kill on the Gecko is going to be maybe the release and pressure that they needed, and Nebi taking out player. Oh, it certainly spells the end of this push for Elusion.
Yeah, and a great job there from Elusion. But just a good defense from Careless Pandas, with patient, making sure they get everybody that they need, respecting the Widow, and Elusion not able to make enough of the space that they were able to get as Gecko gets picked off by that spam coming in from Seaman on the defense.
A little bit more time, and a little bit more time matters when you've only got 1 minute 55 left on the clock. Elusion need to find something. They didn't get any value there, but of course only 1 tick needed. Kurt's gonna look to rain damage in on this, but a great wall, or great shield by Bebop. Gonna be cutting off that angle.
Yeah, as we see Gecko swapping over to the McCree here. Again, I have to say, I'm not the biggest fan of running this Mercy on the offense, but they are able to break down the shield and take down
and the res gets canceled. The res gets canceled out of Tequin. The coalition is both going down. Seaman finds a kill on the Gecko, and Kurt looking to close it out. The Barrage finding 2 kills. So few members left alive for Careless Pandas. The res gone. Tequin seemingly maybe disconnecting on point. Unfortunate there, but Seaman going down along with his Mercy, and that almost certainly spills the end of this match. Pause coming in, but this one certainly going the way of Elusion.
And it looks like a... I have to say that disconnect is probably inconsequential. Yeah, great job there from Elusion to take it at the end. Unfortunate, but I think that one was probably sealed. Elusion going up 2-0 after their great performance here on Temple of Anubis.
Yeah, I think Careless Pandas really wanted to put all their eggs into that Bastion basket. And it really showed on the first push that you can't do that on Temple of Anubis. You can just play those spares, play that Pharah, play that Junkrat. You just find the damage in on the off angles, and maybe not the best map for Pandas, but certainly maybe the most viable in the pool for them. But coming up on the next map, I believe it should be Hybrid. So Kings Row, Eichenwald, and Hollywood. These maps may be looking pretty in favor of Elusion, if you ask me, but what do you think?
We'll see what happens, but I just want to announce we're going to be taking a quick technical pause. This is not a 10-minute halftime, just a quick technical pause. We have some things we need to work out.
All right, apologies for the technical pause. Colorblind settings should be all fixed up now, and it will be Careless Pandas down 0-2. Got a big set of maps up ahead of them, and they do choose Eichenwald to take this next one. Careless Pandas, of course, nearly running it back at 0-2 in the middle of the season, and they're going to need to do it again here if they want to go into this halftime with a smile on their face. What do you think they need to do it, Juke?
I'm a little worried about picking Eichenwald here from Careless Pandas. They seem to struggle against the Bastion. I wasn't a big fan of the way they ran their Bastion. And that's a map where he can just dominate. Farah as well seem to be going towards Elusion. Looking at what else is in the pool. Yeah, I think Kings Row or Hollywood would have been a better choice here from Careless Pandas. So it's definitely interesting. But we'll see if they're able to make it work. Maybe they have some kind of pocket strat. Cream, the leader of the late great Renovadio, maybe he has something prepared for him.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things here, I think Careless Pandas are going to look fairly decent on the offense. My question is, what do they go for on the defense? You can run a couple interesting Bastion comps, and of course, it does seem to be what they seem most confident on. But Elusion just tore them apart with that Pharah, and of course, Pharah being fairly viable on Eichenwald, especially the first point for breaking it open around that clock tower. I'm not sure what Careless Pandas are going to want to do on the defense here, as Elusion looked to take apart the composition that was the bane of themselves in the last match.
Yeah, like I had mentioned a few times, Careless Pandas is doing a great job with their sort of initial setup, getting into a good staging position when they're on the attack. But from there, I'm just not sure they have a good, follow-up plan to make things happen. I've been a little skeptical of Elusion's strategies, but they're making it work nonetheless because they're really working well together as a team, and also good individual play coming out, especially from Kurt here on the DPS. He's been doing a great job all night. So I'm not sure what the answer is for Careless Pandas. Maybe just try to mix things up. Go back to maybe Seaman on the Doomfist. I feel like he was doing a pretty good job on that when they were not running it against the dive. But it looks like on defense, unless we are getting trolled, it will be a Bastion Gecko coming out from Elusion with double shield, and I would assume a Baptiste to back him up. So this could be hard for Careless Pandas to break through.
I felt throughout this series one of the strongest things that Elusion have been that adaptability. They look comfortable on a lot of heroes, and a lot of these heroes that they're playing are comfort picks for them. And so I think on defense is really where Elusion is going to not really look the greatest, but sticking with the Bastion comp like this is, I think, the safest way they can go. Kurt on the Pharah, of course, has been a threat all night. But coming up against Seaman and Nebby, a little bit more of an interesting comp out of Careless Pandas. I want to see what they're able to do with this Pharah.
Yeah, and I do like the defensive Pharah here coming out from Kurt on Elusion. That tower in the middle can give you a lot of cover that you need to make Pharaoh work. And it looks like they'll be answering with their own Pharaoh Mercy coming in from C-Man. This is going to open up things. They're really surrounding this Bastion, but Trug's not able to take down Infinity as they're trying to fight.
Not so successful. The last two players just trying to die, and Elusion looks like they have no intention of letting them anytime soon. The stagger is going to be massive onto Inozo here.
Yeah, really tormenting Inozo on that Moira. So it looked like Careless Pandas, again, able to kind of get good positioning. I liked the way they were able to get the surround on Gecko for the Bastion. But they're just not able to finish things off. C-Man was kind of locked in his 1v1 against the other pharmacy combo and not there to support. So maybe just a miscommunication or mistimed. Because it looks like they are able to get into the mini room and stage again here with Careless Pandas.
It's like Careless are going to want to rotate around this point and take the fight to Kurt. Try and take that far out of the air. But the second this Bastion gets set up, you need to realize you have to go another way. And somehow, this Metro just stuck on the opposite end of the point. Where on earth is Nebby?
Yeah, I'm not sure what was going on there. And yeah, Infinity gets taken down. You really need to be decisive when you're not running a Lucio and you're doing it into a Bastion. Your decision making as far as where you're taking your team has to be perfect. This Nebby looks like he's flanking again with this Sim. I just don't know what's going on with this.
I am not sure what kind of value they're hoping to get out of this Metro. It's so difficult to charge it playing into the Bastion. Bastion, you need to kill him almost instantly. There's no time to really get that charge up. But Careless Pandas taking advantage of the fact that Mercy's out for just a little bit, taking a fourth position on this fight. The Coalescence, so forcing you to be used to heal up Bebop, but it won't be enough. The configuration tank will be taking him out in 2 kills. The way of Gecko, this Bastion comp looks unbeatable.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe Careless Pandas was just trying to do a dry push there and sort of force out some ultimates, but they use the Coalescence, which can be great to deal with getting the Thera out of the sky, just pushing through and taking down an eye field and crushing people in the shield. The way Gecko's positioned, he's just right smack dab in the middle of the point because he's not afraid of fast pressure coming in from Careless Pandas. So we'll see if maybe they're going to choose to put a more aggressive, direct TP coming in from Nebby and just get right on top of him.
Gecko in the corner of this position. He does not have many places to rotate to. However, it is a strong place to hold, and he can stay alive for a good while there. Of course, the Bongo offers a massive threat to the Bastion, as it looks like Careless Pandas want to take this high ground. The barrage comes in, doesn't find anything but the Bongo. The invulnerability field is still up for the side of Elusion. C-Man not quite getting what he wanted there. Kurt instead picking up 2 with his own. And another fight gone for Careless Pandas. 45 seconds left on the clock. It's looking rough for them.
Yeah, we're seeing what looks like maybe another one of these set plays coming in for Careless Pandas where they stage in a specific position. That time C-Man, good timing on the barrage, but Nick just answers by using the Flux on the rest of Careless Pandas, and they're not able to get anything done. And in that time, they take down the Thera and turn and respond to the rest of the team. So last push here coming up for Careless Pandas. We'll see how they're able to swap it up as they don't have many ults available.
It's not quite the way you want to start, though. Nixall going down for Elusion. The res should come out here, but Kurt denying it, saying this is my airspace. The Gravitic Flux does go off from Bebop, trying to take out Gecko on the Bastion. Looks for the accretion on him, the health dropping low, but not quite enough. Ivy Cat and the Selfie are going to be able to keep him alive, but he kills himself with that configuration tank, dealing just enough damage that the Bebop can finish him off. But the hold still coming in for Elusion with overtime ticking down. It looks like a full hold is in store for Careless Pandas.
Thanks for the assist.
Yeah, it was a little worrying there for a moment with Gecko getting surrounded, getting shot from multiple angles, but Ivy Cat just stuck on him with that Valking Mercy, able to keep him alive, and they're able to hold the point. So a lot on the plate here for Careless Pandas. They do not want to go down 3-0. I'm not sure what they're going to be able to do for a full hold here. Are you looking for anything specific that they might be able to do to pull it back?
I think you probably end up running the same Pharah Bastion comp that Elusion ended up running. They didn't get to really let it shine on Temple of Anubis, but I think here with this clock tower, it really could be up to C-Man to hold the airspace from Kurt. And Kurt has looked absolutely dominant, but I'm honestly not sure what else you could do. You could run a McCree, set him up on your back high grounds for the defense, but honestly, that just feels a little static and a little too specific to the Pharah that, of course, Elusion could just swap right off of.
Yeah, so it looks like they will be running pretty similar comp. They're going to be swapping out the Moira instead of the Mercy that Ivy Cat was running on the defense. And that's interesting. It's going to be hard for Seaman to get heals if he gets into trouble here. So he is really going to be... Okay, and it looks like they will be going back and swapping Scrooty Louie over to the Mercy to support. So yeah, the same kind of defense. And that always worries me when you run what... When you run the same plan that they just ran, because you have to assume that they have some ideas about what it's vulnerable to. On the offense here, Gecko...
Whoa! See, massive shot coming in over the building. That's a wave wall used in conjunction with this, going to work their way around the left side of the point. As interesting as that was, it doesn't quite give them the advantage they need. This Bastion's still set up on the high ground. They're going to look to wrap around the Maywall, put up on the roof, not where they need it to be. The kills need to come down in the way of Careless Pandas. Now or never, Bebop forced to drop on the point. He's only going to be able to stay alive for so long. The shield keeping alive, the Maywall mortality keeping up just a little bit longer. The Maywall comes on and Nebby going to be dying a bit of damage, but Kurt, the first man to go down in the way of Careless Pandas. This is exactly how they want to start this fight. Bebop's still alive on the point. The tank still going. Ivy Cat forced to use the Coalescence, but Seaman looking to close this fight out with a big barrage, finding 2 more kills.
Yeah, that was a really interesting set play there from Elusion, going over the top of that building. I have never seen that before. So they were able to get close in on Nebby. He didn't look too comfortable staying in tank mode. But it looks like once things settled down a little in the mid-fight, he was just able to shred them. So yeah, they weren't quite able to get the distance or stop him from firing down on them, so it's going to be interesting to see what they do here as they swap over to Ivy Cat again on this offensive Mercy as they run their own Pharmacy combo, and Gecko on the Ash, but they are way down on ults.
And it's probably exactly what you want to do if you're Elusion. Build up an ult advantage, you have time. All you need to do is get one tick here, and I think Afar is a great way to do it. Kurt has been looking incredible on it all night, and if they want to secure a third map, I think this is exactly what they want to do. But Nebby pushing up there, looking to push this Bastion out a little bit further and set it up in the clock tower, interestingly enough. Kurt coming in, he does have 60% on his barrage. He could look for a flank here, but Gecko taking Seaman out of the sky could be the pick they need to start this fight out.
Yeah, moving into the clock tower is really giving them a lot of positioning to Elusion, but they're able to make it work so far. Just raining down damage from that Bastion. Again, no Lucio to really close the distance. They're just choosing to try and win it with finesse plays. Doesn't seem to be working though. So far, Careless Pandas is able to whittle off 2 minutes on this clock, and it's looking like the full hold might be possible.
1 minute 36 left. I don't mind that strat, honestly. It looked like it worked very well for them. Elusion looked like they had no clue how to get in, and Bebop using that Groovy Eclipse to seal out the fight is just one more thing going their favor. Dreadnought Hugs and Gecko's going down particularly late for a stagger as Nebby sits back up on this high ground. I think it's interesting why they decided to rotate so abruptly into the clock tower. I don't mind it, but I think it's not something you can do every fight, and it's not going to win you every fight. Is of course Nebby set back up on this high ground. Clearly Pandas don't believe in it as well. But a cleaner push coming in from Elusion could be what takes it out for him.
Yeah, I'd like to see them build up that bongo. This is basically last fight territory. If they can burn down an eye field with the coalescence coming in from Shrugs, not Hugs, they should be in good position. Really putting a lot of pressure on that shield as they're moving in. Lots of ultimates available coming up for Elusion as they move in with the Gravitic Flux.
The Flux goes down and Nebby slammed down with it. Will not be the man to die, but Kurt's barrage surely going to be finishing him off. They're going to look for the res on top of Infinity on top of the high ground, burning down. The bongo dropped on point for Elusion. Bebop, the last man left alive. The Far Mercy left to do all the work, but surely they can. A Seaman taken down, and that'll be it. 3-0 for Elusion going into halftime. Careless Pandas on the ropes. Whew.
Yeah, really looking to be in a lot of trouble here from Careless Pandas. Elusion, I think the key difference here is both teams are sort of getting close, making things happen, staging in the right positions, but Elusion just able to close it out. We have not seen Careless Pandas really looking decisive in that sort of second phase of the attacks. Once everybody's ready and you want to go in, there's just nothing following it up.
Nah, Juke. Pandas, they're just an overtime team. That's what it is. They're an overtime second half. Now, what you can, I believe, expect to see from Pandas is their mental has seemed pretty strong. They ran it back last time, almost going the full distance. And I would say this match is definitely not over. Going up 3-0, though, is Elusion into halftime, and we will see you guys in just about 10 minutes. All right, what's up, everybody? We're back from our halftime. Everybody back from their water break. Hydrate or dihydrate, as they say. Juke, how you feeling after those 10 minutes?
Feeling ready to go, but a little worried for Careless Pandas as they have chosen Rialto, which I feel is a good map for Pharah and Bastion, which they have been struggling with all night.
Yeah, both these teams running the Pharah Bastion consistently, but Elusion looking like they have all the answers right now. Their players are absolutely on fire, especially Kurt, who ironically was subbed out, has been looking like an absolute madman all night. And maybe it's the opening that Pandas need. However, Rialto was the map that they took Alt F4 out in map 7 on. So, of course, their last play on this map was a win. But, of course, Elusion has been looking incredible tonight. What do you think that means?
Real quick, I believe you're talking about DDoS, the two teams, the affiliates. They're themed, so the computer stuff going on. And yeah, Careless Pandas did look strong on that when they played DDoS, but it was also close. I believe that they had like a last minute push to get it all the way through. So yeah, I am a bit I'm feeling a bit better with Yeti coming back in on Careless Pandas for that main tank role. But just worried about if they will be quick and decisive enough to deal with this Bastion coming out from Gecko. And it looks like they will be electing to play that again. And the Pharah, as predicted, coming out from Black Ninja. So not sure what they're going to do. I'd like to see them either mix up how they deal with it as far as composition, or how they deal with it as far as their sort of attitude. I'd like to see more just collapsing right onto that Bastion. See if they're able to make, some abilities go wrong, somebody panic, as Careless Pandas comes out on this offense. And it looks like they'll be running a Widow Genji with a double shield. Very interesting.
Yeah, I think it would have been a good choice had Elusion set up on that initial high ground. Widowmaker obviously meant to deal with the Pharah coming out from Black Ninja. The Pharah has been giving them so much trouble all night, but it's going to be tough to get angles as they push through this initial corridor. That Bastion set up on the high ground is tough to remove.
Yeah, but he is a little isolated unless he drops. Okay, so at least they're able to push him to the low ground, but this is going to open up options for them to look to flank here from Careless Pandas. We'll see what they're able to do.
The job's coming in front of side, just going to play this low ground. It's going to be a bit of a shield war, but of course Elusion going to be looking to pick that one up with their Bastion. All that damage from the shredding right to the invulnerability field. The Careless Pandas just need to wait a little bit longer in here. Every time that invulnerability field goes down, it means they need to wait for it to come back up again. Yeah, getting halted out, but the shield doesn't seem to last a little bit longer. They're taking out C-Man. With that Widowmaker removed, Black Ninja is going to have so much free reign over this airspace, and Careless Pandas choosing to just dip back inside. Maybe getting halted, forced to dash onto Elusion. Uses deflect, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to get out. Taken out by Black Ninja on the roof.
Yeah, oh, misplaced window coming out there from Anozo, so that one's going to be wasted. And yeah, it looks like Samian's just not able to get these opening picks coming in from the Widow, which is what you need. If you're not able to get a pick or two with this Widow, then you're just not opening up enough space for it to be worth it. So they are coming up with the Blade here for Nebby, but no Ana for the boost. So we'll see if they're able to get full value out of that with the comp they have.
I like what Black Ninja's been doing here. He's been playing very low to the ground far, staying out of the sightlines of Seaman, making himself unavailable and just laying in the splash damage on those shields, and it looks like that's going to be what breaks him as Gecko, alongside Black Ninja, tears through the side of Careless Pandas.
Yeah, and really not putting much pressure on Gecko at all. He hasn't had to move, he hasn't had anybody really get past the shields, or most of the time even threaten angles around the shields. So they're able to hold on to that. They're able to hold on to that lamp from Drugs Not Hugs. But Nebby coming up on the Blade now, and C-Man swapping over to the Pharah as they mix it up with Careless Pandas 140.
Oh! Immediately takes Black Ninja out of the sky, but Gecko trading right back onto him. The res a little bit more difficult. No! As C-Man lands in the water. Unfortunately, Black Ninja will get back up, and the Gravitic Flux does come into the next all. Going to be looking to take out the back line of Careless Pandas. It looks like it's going to be enough to split him up as Nebi goes down alongside his Dragon Blade. Yeti doesn't look like he's going to be able to survive as Black Ninja looks to pressure him. They want the rest of these kills.
Yeah, Nebi able to get into the back line and activate that blade, but there was nobody to take down the lamp for him. So, 2-3 swipes into that lamp is just too much time, and he's able to get taken down by Gecko. So Gecko doing a good job holding back the rest of the team, and now Nebi swapping over to the Fist. Only 60 seconds left, and Gecko getting another entry pick.
And Black Ninja not done yet. He uses the barrage, will get accretion out of the air, keeping the fun. Whereas on the Seaman, this is not over. 6v6, both fires up in the sky. They're going to be looking for the dual Seaman, not finding any shots, but Seaman will get hit by a rocket of his own. Honey dropping down to half HP with the amplification matrix goes down for the side. With Careless Pandas is going to be enough to take out Gecko. Will the res be able to come out? The invulnerability field used up for Elusion, and the kills all going Careless Pandas' way. That Bastion finally displaced back into the last man left alive in the sky. Looks like they'll be able to at least get the first bit of this push, but of course, the notorious last bit of this point can be a real struggle.
Yeah, we'll see here, as it looks like the Bastion doesn't have any shields in front of him, so they should be able to get this pick, or sorry, this push all the way. No, it looks like Nick, and they have the window down. There's gonna be so much damage coming out from Gecko here as he lifted up into the air, away from that window, but they are able to get it under the bridge. Oh, that's gotta hurt there for Elusion. They use so many ults there to try and defend as well.
No touches from Elusion that we managed to get on top of that cart. The Gravitic Flux being just good enough on the Gecko to stop him from really getting quite enough value. And interestingly enough, the res going on to Dreadnought Hug is seemingly wanting to opt for the sustain. I don't know if Gecko's going to look to swap off the Bastion or no, as he's slowly but surely running back on the point, and Nebi laying in the damage on this Doomfist. This is Careless Panda's chance to take advantage of the fact that Elusion does not have this Bastion. The damage going down, Gecko drops off the high ground, but Nebi trying to pick on a Dreadnought Hugs means that invulnerability field is no longer available, as well as player. The main tank's down, Gecko's fully available, but he's fragging right out though. Yeti gonna put an end to that one real quick. 3 members left alive for both sides now. Nixall and Black Ninja looking to end this one early. Both tanks left alive though, still for Careless Pandas as the spawns are going to be coming in their favor. Nebi back alive on the Doomfist. Could find a punch kill here if Nixall peeks for a little bit too long. Nick though, not overstaying his welcome. Give up though, laying in plenty of damage. Black Ninja farming up a barrage and throwing it in, finding 2 more kills for Elusion. Careless Pandas need to hold just a little bit further back here so Seaman can start laying in this rocket value. He does have the barrage. The trade back on the vulnerability field is down. Does he go for it? He's flying above them. He's waiting for his chance to drop. Will he go for it? No. He flies further into the back as the rest of his team just gets picked off and pushed back through that point HO.
Yeah, and you see what Careless Pandas is able to do here. Finally able to introduce some chaos into the back lines with Nebi on this Doomfist. Doing a great job, really breaking things up.
Oh! There it is. Seaman hiding in the back line, finding the pick on the Drugs and Hugs. Again, the invulnerability field not available, but this time no Bastion to throw it on. So Gecko swapping on the tree. Might be a bit of a good pick considering Seaman's been running an absolute clinic on this map so far.
Yeah, only 30 seconds left here as Seaman goes in with the Doomfist ult. Able to pick them up is Nick with the Gravitic Flux, but just still pushing through. That Bongo gonna do so much damage.
Matrix is huge, and it's gonna be the barrage though that does it in the end. Seaman coming up with 3 regardless of the high noon. Absolutely clutch. This guy looking like a whole new player after halftime.
Yeah, in last fight territory here, coming up for Careless Pandas. They have to win this fight if they want a reasonable chance of winning the map. Now a Pharah from the Black Ninja putting in a lot of pressure on the back line. They're still getting it around. It's getting to the corner. It's so close now.
I feel like this choke is even harder for the side of Eclipse. It's so out in the open. Player Nick's not going to be taking a ton of damage here. Seaman gets the off angle that he wants. His damage boost as far as laying in so much damage. He feel like this fight's going to end early, and 1 kill going the way of either side. The drop does find 3. It's massive. Black Ninja dropped down to half HP, and it will be taking out Nixall on the point. It's secured for Careless Pandas.
Yeah, big flux there coming out from Bebop, able to lift all the tanks. Not just doing damage, but getting them out of position so that Yeti can just walk in and rain damage on anybody who's still remaining. 1:15 left on the clock here. No big ultimates coming in for Careless Pandas. Black Ninjas with this barrage ready. Lots of places to hide as the Pharah, as they're going to be moving into the final point on Church. So we'll see if he's able to make that happen next fight.
These tiny quarters can mean bad news bears for our Careless Pandas. However, they're going to try to hold on to the point just a little bit longer. as C-Man back in this fight, looking to close one out. 50 seconds left. This is surely last fight territory. Black Ninja just hiding, waiting for his opportunity to land this brush. Floating above, waiting for Careless Pandas push through this choke. C-Man laying in the damage, but the shield's blocking the invulnerability field forced out. Nebby going into the punch, but the fortify forced out from player is going to be just enough value that they're looking for. The halt lands, and the damage boosted amplification matrix High Noon comes in, but they're just going to look to back off. They still have time, 27 seconds left. They're going to get as many of these ultimates out of the side of Elusion as they can, and that's 2 down. Just that big one, that barrage still left on Black Ninja. They need to make sure they have debuffs shift up and available in order to stop it. But slowly getting forced back onto point. Looking for the barrage is Black Ninja, still flying over top. So key, and he gets taken out. That's huge. Honey's gonna be looking for the reds inside of the invulnerability field. Doesn't get it off. No, is the key answer here. As all the kills going the way of Careless Pandas, being decisive on this point, grinding out the ultimate. Player last man left alive here alongside Gecko. Fortify out. Gecko left alive inside of his field. Does get punched down by Nebby. Black Ninja still has his barrage. He throws it down. Finds nothing. Nebby finding everything they need. With the ultimate, Nixall looks to use his Gravitic Flux to keep them off this point. Nobody touching the overtime. Not going to be taken down though. As Enzo able to hold on the point. Nixall though using his shifty, will get a little bit of shields. Bebop though with his own Gravitic Flux looks to pull everyone off the point. Draws the Hudson player though. Left alive. The more heals could be enough here. Gecko coming back on, dropping that healing field, but it looks like Careless Pandas, in a miracle of sorts, managed to push the rest of this map. Black Ninja still managed to touch this point, and it's not over. Honey, looking for something on this Lucio, but this has surely got to be the end of it. Please, I'm getting tired of casting Nixall. Thank you, does not touch the point. And round 1, all the way through the map, seemingly a miracle. Careless Pandas finish it.
Yeah, really patient play here from Careless Pandas, like we've been seeing all night. But if you're gonna play patient like that, you need to find a time to go in and decide to make it happen eventually. And that's finally what we're seeing from Careless Pandas. They're choosing their time well. It looked like Elusion had gone for a Baptiste amplification matrix to boost up the Deadeye, but they just move out of the way, and that's 2 ultimates wasted. After that, Careless Pandas able to pick a time to go in, knowing those abilities are not ready to contest their Pharah. He goes over the top and takes down the lamp, and that just spelled disaster for Elusion there on the final point. And on Rialto, you don't always see the final point capped. This can be a hard map to complete even the first point. So Careless Pandas really with a chance here to come back with that great offensive performance.
Yeah, I think they look a lot more put together. Like you said, they're deciding on their pushes, and it wasn't just the amplification matrix along with the Deadeye that they waited out for. They waited for the exact second Black Ninja tried to push up aggressively, tried to push himself out of position for that barrage, knowing full well that he had it, and took full advantage of it, taking him out of the fight instantly, and knowing that was their chance to go in. And honestly, decisive fights like that are what you're looking for if you're Careless Pandas. You need clean wins, and honestly, as few fights as they're winning, the ones that they do seem to be in that sort of favor. It's just how few and far between are they? Well, we're about to find out as they try to defend here on Rialto.
Yeah, and it looks like they will be putting Nebby up on the high ground with that Bastion. So see if there are any swaps. No, it looks like they will be sticking with Gecko on the Widow, maybe trying to get some off angles, as Black Ninja will be on the Pharah. And the Pharmacy coming in from C-Man and Tequin on the defense to contest. As, yeah, they're trying to push down the middle, and they're just getting mowed down by that Bastion out of the pressure.
First man down is Coach Humpy. Both the tanks off the high ground means Nebby's free pickings for Gecko's Widowmaker, and Black Ninja now free to rain down on the backline without the threat of that Bastion. Careless Pandas just need to get back a little bit here so they can regroup. Oh, but Tequin getting a massive accretion and a halt is going to be enough there to end his life. And the vulnerability field forced out for Careless Pandas as they're slowly getting torn apart here. The recontest looking less and less likely, but the Bastion reset up on the bridge, taking tons of damage from the far. Gecko taking out Bebop is not what Pandas want. Yeti, though, does set himself up in a position for the recontest, but this point is not over.
Yeah, and you're really seeing the aggression here coming out from Elusion. As soon as they get one pick, they are all over killing him, making sure that they cannot get out. As the Coalescence comes out from Juggernaut Hugs, he's putting down so much pressure in the back line, and it looks like Elusion will be able to take this.
Oh, the Durez on a Nebby, though, does spell disaster for Elusion if they can't take him out quickly enough. No vulnerability field available, though, will spell the death of another Bastion. More Omnics going down, and that's a .8 in pretty good time for Elusion.
Yeah, such a fast attack coming in from Elusion. 5 minutes left on the clock after they take one down. And kind of a strange tank composition coming up here from Careless Pandas now as they elect to go Yeti onto the Rhine. Okay, now they are swapping Bebop over to the Zarya, but no Lucio to give them the speed boost. I'm not sure what the plan is here. It's kind of a confusing. I don't know what their win conditions are.
Nebby on the Widowmaker not going to have any real notable sightlines here. Some really slim corridors. And the shields can really cut off. He's going to be looking primarily for this kill on a Black Ninja. And I keep an eye on that battle in the sky. Yeti though looking for the engagement. He gets taken out instantly by Player and his Bongo. And the Griddick Flux will get put onto Bebop, the only man left inside of it. Uses his bubble to keep himself alive a little bit longer. Gecko taking T-Quinn and Seaman out of the sky. Surely spells disaster here for Careless Pandas as 2 members left alive, just trying to find some form of value, get some time off of this clock. Is Elusion look to just steamroll this one.
Yeah, 5:20 left here on the attack here. So fast here from Elusion. And again, I have to stress the lineup. It's so strange. They have these tanks that want to brawl. They have supports that offer a lot of healing, but kind of need everybody together, and then Seaman and Nebby want to be miles away from the team fight. I'm not sure what's coming up here, but so many ultimates available for Elusion as they look to keep up this just ceaseless aggression on the attack.
Seaman swapping off of the far end. I think he just wanted to get some value out of his ultimate, but he never got a good chance to use it there. I think swapping the Reaper here is a wise choice. Keeping and his Lucio are going to be able to get him a lot more value as they try to push aggressively, but ironically, Seaman, the first man to go down, yet he looks for the shatter, but it gets blocked by both members of Elusion. Nixel alive on the point. Black Ninja taken out of his ultimate immediately by Nebby. The high noon though on the flank from Gecko, not going to be finding any value. The kills start to go in the way of Careless Pandas. They're swinging in on the entirety of Elusion. They finally found the hole that they need, but can they find the kills? Player on the Orisa. Last man left alive to do the damage. Both the supports though still alive to keep him up just a little bit longer. The spawn is coming in. Careless Pandas first though. Seaman on the Reaper's Raid Farm forced out. Bebop looking to take out Player. If they can finish off this main tank, they can finish off the fight, and they finally do. Not Hugs trying to back up along with Honey and Nixel. Bebop laying in the damage, playing a little bit aggressively. He does not want to get picked here, but it looks like that's about the end of the fight for Careless Pandas.
Yeah, on the one hand, I wanted to give credit for the Elusion supports doing a great job keeping the team alive for so long. I also have to say why. They should have reset about 30 seconds off the clock there for no real reason, but they just have so much time left. That said, they did feed a lot of ultimate charge over as Nebby's able to take down Black Ninja. They do have a direct grab available and they choose to use it.
And using it, they will be dropping onto that low ground, using it inside of the choke. I like the setup there from Yeti. Playing those close quarters where Ryan can just drop on top of the Orisa Sigma composition is a very wise choice, especially when you want to play aggressive and you want to let that cart push back just a little bit more. It's not quite in a safe position for them yet. Not quite out of that one fight territory. But the Yeti and the rest of his crew forced to back up. And Nebby been finding these picks on the far has been absolutely key.
Yeah, it looks like Black Ninja will be swapping over to the Ash. So double hit scan here, trying to punish the relative lack of shields compared to what they are running on Elusion. Lots of ultimates coming up from both teams.
And when there's no, the Reinhardt gets stunned out of his charge and he's stuck. Yeti in the middle of no man's land, and the rest of Careless Pandas trying to engage onto the back of it. Bebop though, T-Quinn both set on fire. And Nixel looking to close this one out. The Griddick Flux landing onto Bebop. His bubble no longer available, taking down to half health. The Accretion will not land though. His bubble keeping alive just a little bit longer. T-Quinn, last man left to contest this card, will use his sound barrier to keep himself alive just a little bit longer. The Reinhardt from Yeti looking for something, and he does find a shatter on the Nixel, but is it enough to coalesce from both sides? Yeti still out on the point, providing heals. Yeti has all the tools in the world to stay alive, just a little bit longer. Seaman needs to find a kill onto something here, but the Reaper goes down instantly. Black Ninja finding that pick is going to be huge. Nebby trying to lay down the damage on this Soldier 76. T-Quinn though, recongesting this cart, pushing Elusion just a little bit further back, and the spawns start to come in for the side of Careless Pandas. And Gecko though finding pick on Anoza, that's a lot of heals down. T-Quinn still on this Lucio, on those heals, but it's not going to be nearly as much as his Moira could be providing. The boop does not stop the res. Player coming back up the main tank for Elusion, be providing a lot more value. Nothing going down for the blue team here as the kills roll in. Seaman stunned out of his Death Blossom, and the point pushes towards the end of Careless Pandas' playoff run. Nebby desperately trying to touch Bebop, trying to hit this point. The slam comes in, his shields are up, and he's desperately holding on for dear life. 1 minute 34 seconds left on this. This does not spell the end for Careless Pandas quite yet, but I'm sure they don't want this to go down in overtime as the players start to come back alive. The bomb though dropped out of Black Ninja. surely needs to start holding on to this point. Yeti's still alive. The tank for Careless Pandas. The kill started rolling slightly faster for Elusion, and that's going to be the end of the map. 2 minutes and 16 seconds left on the clock for Elusion. 1 minute on Careless Pandas, and they're on the ropes.
Yeah, they're still alive in this one after able to eat off a lot of time on the clock. But as I was getting into, when there's so many ultimates available on the board, it really comes down to decision making, and I just cannot explain why Yeti was back on those stairs in glass.
I don't think even
I don't know if they thought they were way behind in ultimates, if they were trying to, I don't know. And then later in the fight, T-Quinn using the barrier just on himself, panicking a little bit. He had people who would have been there in just another second or two, possibly a miscommunication. And then even later, Seaman using the Reaper ultimate with no real support or communication that Accretion was down. They're just able to stun him right out of it. So yeah, it looks like maybe a lack of teamwork here from Careless Pandas. Maybe they're not keeping it together under the pressure, but Elusion has just looked great. They have really poured on the aggression when they needed to. They've been very decisive. They're winning their 1v1 battles most of the time. And things are not looking good for Careless Pandas as they need to make a lot happen on this attack. And it looks like they will be going with El Presidente on the cart, choosing to put Nebby on the basket.
I like this pick. It offers them a lot of overtime pressure. They can just stay on top of that card, and Elusion are all of a sudden forced to push onto Careless Pandas. Careless Pandas with a little bit of a rough time pushing this point A. This new composition is going to need to do it. And player getting taken off the high ground is the first thing that they need. Black Ninja, they're taking out Nebby. Is not the way you start this match off the res. It's going to be difficult to come in here, and it doesn't look like it's going to, as Careless Pandas choose to reset here.
Yeah, and just not rotating through their abilities the way they should. The tanks didn't look like... and they need to just be dying here. They should not be throwing down the eye field. They need to... Okay, but they are able to recover.
Gecko setting himself up on card, but the Accretion lands, and that'll spell the death of their Bastion. Honey does have the res available. The invulnerability field going down to protect him. He steps up for it, and he will get it off. Trying to delay in the damage. Oh, but a barrage out of Black Ninja takes out Gecko. And the kills going absolutely both ways. Former is left alive for the side of Careless Pandas, 3 for the side of Elusion before getting taken out of the sky. Means Gecko's gonna have an easier time here dealing with Careless Pandas. Gets to back up. He doesn't have a shield to hide behind. The Accretion lands on top of him, but the heals are absolutely going to be enough. But he gets taken out in the side room. This is exactly what you want if you're Careless Pandas. The spawns are going to start coming in. They can take this shorter route across the bridge, and Nebby gets to set back up on cart behind his shield. He sets up on the corner. It's going to be all up to Black Ninja here to lay in the damage. The Blender's going down both ways. The kinetic grasp to use up the invulnerability field, though will be keeping player alive inside out. Oh, wait for just a bit longer. This point hold's going to be a tough one. It's the Bebop, the man left alive on the point. The overtime, they can't step off this point too soon. Nebby inside the invulnerability field behind the Risky Shield, along with the Bongo. He has every tool in his kit to pull this one off. The kills start rolling in their direction, but the Bongo dropped inside. It's so hard to get angles onto these tanks of Elusion and Nixel trying to find the flank onto Nebby. He's going to be looking for the Accretion here in a second, but the Gravitic Flux lands, but not in time, as Careless Pandas pull off that A-push just
Yeah, and it's really amazing here that Careless Pandas, the team who has seemed much more passive and defensive and patient. Oh no! That actually could be big as Seaman takes one into the drink. But as I was saying, yeah, Careless Pandas has been much more patient and slow all night, but things seem to be going in their favor when the fight breaks down. So they need to be more aggressive, like they've been seeing Elusion do all night, as they're able to set up. They have the Bastion on the high ground here. Very interesting from Careless Pandas. They just need to make sure they don't see Young on the point.
They come back alive using that configuration tank. They need to stay on this card. That overtime's going to take down about a quarter second flat. Gecko, they're taking out Yeti. Does not spell good for Careless Pandas. Already halfway through this second point. Point though, not a bad push so far. If they can find 1 or 2 more kills here, they might be able to do it. But Bebop's taking off the point. Might just be enough. The res comes onto Yeti. Their Bastion's still alive, but getting picked off. Gecko gets the better of Nebby, and the barrage from Black Ninja lands onto Bebop. Seaman taking him out of the sky, but it doesn't look like he's made enough. Yeti left alive on the point. The overtime ticks down like that.
Wow, and I think if you're Careless Pandas, you have to be happy with what you got there. They only started with a minute on the clock. They're able to get it past first point and about second way to point 2. So all things considered, really not a bad push. Spending a lot of time in overtime there. That's one of the things the Bastion can really get you. He's hard to dislodge from the point. But Yeah, 216 left for Elusion. They've been looking like the better team all night. I'm not sure what they're going to do. I assume that we're going to see more Bastion v Bastion here. And I have liked Illusion's Bastion quite a bit more all night. So this could be big trouble here for Careless Pandas.
I think one of the biggest differences I've seen all night in the Bastion versus Bastion matchup has actually been the Baptiste. The invulnerability fields that we've seen out of the side of Elusion have just seemed a lot cleaner. They're not in positions that can get taken out. They've been around corners. And Inozo, he's throwing them out, or pardon me. Yes, Inozo is throwing them out and protecting his Bastion decently enough, but honestly, you want to be getting more value. And he seems like he's throwing them out maybe a little bit too aggressively, or his tanks are just taking a bit too much damage when they're walking forward and forcing him to use it. But that invulnerability field seemed like a tool that they just haven't really had in their toolbox all night.
Yeah, that's one thing I was about to get into earlier before a fight broke out. There's a very specific order that you want to be using your abilities in this double shield Bastion versus Bastion. And it looks like Careless Pandas has not been doing it correctly, to be honest. But that said, it looks like we won't be seeing a Bastion versus Bastion. It's a Pharah Widow attack, trying to open up some angles here from Elusion. Nixall gets pushed into the drink by C-Man. Great job.
That's how you want to start if you're Careless Pandas. And honestly, though, blocking in the Junkrat is going to be Gecko, the composition that spelled disaster for Pandas on that Temple of Anubis. Will they be able to pull off this hold on Rialto? Thank you. Rialto, they reposition here on this little center piece. C-Man not allowing any of that airspace to Black Ninja, though, as the res comes up on the player, and C-Man taking him out. It's going to be the res out, so a little bit of value there, but the res not nearly as important as if it were in a Bastion top. But the cart is continually moving forward, and they're going to need more picks than that as Black Ninja takes out C-Man and now has free reign over this guy's Nebbit. He's not able to set up, but the halt lands on top of Black Ninja, looking to get a little bit more value here. He knows that the next man taken out. Surely spells his point taken for Elusion, of Rock landing on a Nebby, no more Bastion. They're going to take it in pretty quick time. 1 minute 5 left on the clock, and they need to get about halfway through this B point.
Yeah, even though it kind of looked like Careless Pandas was winning the fight or at least even most of that time, they were just not stalling the cart at all. So 50 seconds left. They really only need to get around 2 more corners here from Elusion.
Vulnerability field forced out. Black Ninja going to capitalize on it, but gets taken right out of the sky by Yeti. Well placed in vulnerability field is going to be keeping the rest of them alive, but Nixall finds a pick onto B. Bob is C-Man. The spawns come in. They get to use this choke one more time. The coalescence, though, is big, and the damage is bigger from Elusion. Going to be raining in so much damage on this backline. Barely any ultimates required, and all the picks going towards the blue team. I'm not sure.
Pandas on the ropes here. This is their playoff hopes. They cannot let this get to the next point.
Yeti coming back on the Reinhardt, looking to swing through the entirety of Elusion, and C-Man coming up big when it matters, finding 2 kills on the backline. 1 more with the flash, already going down. And C-Man looking to close this one out. 9 seconds on the clock. Careless Pandas look to hold on to this one with their C-Man at their side. The Junkrat going down before he can even touch the point. Junkrat Hugs does get his fade off. He won't touch the point, and Careless Pandas pick up 1 map when it matters.
Whew, still alive here from Careless Pandas. Just looked so tenuous all on the defense there. Really not slowing them at all until that final fight. But they were able to get so much extra time as they pushed on their Bastion attack that they just made it work. They were able to hold just long enough. And Careless Pandas stay alive as we head into map 5.
An incredible hold against an extremely formidable offense. Honestly, I think even on the defense, even though you pull off that hold, I felt like Elusion had full control of that push. And honestly, C-Man, like we mentioned at the beginning, he's fairly consistent. You don't see him making a lot of big plays at the starts of fights. But when it comes to the end, when their team's at a disadvantage, he somehow consistently just comes up with these massive plays. No ultimate required. He could have done that play without Barrage, and the point completely clutched out, keeping him alive for just 1 more map. And all of a sudden, it's Elusion's pick. Where do you think they're going to look to take this one?
And it looks like they will be taking Ilios, and this could be bad news for Careless Pandas, as last time they faced up, Elusion was able to take both of the control maps. So we will get that set up for you in just a moment.
I did, though, enjoy the first map. Looked relatively close, as much as the control points have gone in Illusion's favor historically. The first map on Lijiang ended up going 2-1, and honestly, not super in favor of Elusion. It was, I believe, 99-99 on at least 2 of those points. So a fairly close matchup. And the Ilios, obviously favoring that Orisa Sigma for a lot of these maps, could play into the hands of Careless Pandas, obviously looking a little bit less comfortable on some of these less meta comps that Elusion have thrown out and that Careless Pandas have felt seemingly forced to play, especially that dive that they played on Lijiang Garden. However, Elias, a little bit more of a formatted map, a little bit more meta, the Orisa Sigma and possibly Orisa Hog on maps like Well, offers a lot of consistency that Careless Pandas, I feel, are used to. And they really play around these team compositions that have a set order of how things should work and how you should combine abilities and position together as a team in order to get value.
Yeah, and even though Careless Pandas has been the more patient team, they seem to be doing much better when the fight breaks down. So even though we haven't seen it, I have to assume that the individual skill of those players is coming out, especially Seaman, who is honestly one of the best DPS in the league.
I'm gonna go ahead and take a little bit of credit. All the Camerons in the chat giving Seaman all of their energy. I'll throw some in there with them, but obviously not biased here. As Elusion is up 3-1, Careless Panda still have a rough road ahead. Swaps coming in. Honey will be swapping out for Ivy, I believe, on support side for Elusion, and we've seen a lot of support swaps, which I think is interesting because I honestly feel like the support play has been consistent regardless of who these teams have had in. What effect do you think it's been having?
To be honest, this is one of the things I had thought about before the match, and I'm not sure there's a big difference. Honey and Ivy Cat are both very solid players, and they play kind of the same hero pool. I think they're both Mercy specialists. So I'm not sure. It might just be one of those things where they have two people for availability's sake to make it through the rest of the season. But yeah, it looks like they should be ready here for map 5 Ilios.
Now, I think one of the biggest key things here is going to be the order that we get these maps. The Well and I believe Lighthouse both end up me giving a little bit more favor to Careless Pandas. I don't think it means an instant win for them, but I think it bodes a lot better for them than Ruins does. Ruins, obviously, a potent map for all sorts of different compositions, and we could see some Widowmakers, which, I mean, Nebula's looked decent on it, but honestly, I think the best thing for Pandas is honestly to stick to what they're comfortable with. Enforcing slightly more different things than they may be used to is not the direction they want to go. And starting off on Well is perfect for them with 10 seconds taking down. What do you think these teams are going to be running?
I'll tell you one thing. I don't think Elusion is going to be running the Bastion. And I think if you're Careless Pandas, you're happy about that. They have really seemed to have trouble with the Bastion all night. I think the deciding factor in what won them Rialto was their own Bastion offense, and Elusion just choosing, I believe they did not have a Bastion on their own to defend against that. So yeah, again, I don't put too much stock into what they're choosing until the map actually starts. But I think you were saying this is a map where you can see sort of limited heroes, but I disagree. All sorts of things can work on Well, as it looks like Careless Pandas will be coming out with the pulled pork. Very interesting. You don't see that too much anymore against the double shield of Elusion. Both teams opting to run a Pharah, but because of the Lucio, they will get their first on Elusion, which is a big difference.
Battle starts to go down. Seaman gonna be looking for the kill streak, but Gecko finding a Noza will be the first thing to happen, and Kurt taking Seaman right out of the fight. All of the DPS gone here all of a sudden, and Kurt getting massive value out of this fire. Teekman finding the resurrect, trying to hold on to the point, but they don't get to touch it in time. Bebop trying to get a pull, a cheeky little one into this Well, but Careless Panda is just forced to back off.
Yeah, you see the difference in the tank compositions here. Bebop was able to get some kills, but they're not able to contest the point. So Elusion just burns down the shields coming in from Careless Pandas. Gecko is able to get off angles because they're only able to cover a limited area with their own Orisa on Careless Pandas. So I'm not liking the pulled pork. I'd really like to see them swap to double shield and have a Lucio to really move around. As Drugspot Hug's coming in from the back looking for boops, not able to get it.
Seaman contesting Kurt in the sky, not allowing him to get an angle on his team, but not able to force him out of this and still be raining in terror from above. Seaman not able to get on the back line where he needs to be. He needs to be putting players out of position for these cult hooks. that they're going to be looking for. They push up aggressively with the shield, but it's not placed quite right as the high noon gets placed in, and it will be punished. The barrage coming in from Kurt from the opposite angle will guarantee 2 kills going the way of Elusion.
Yeah, great job coming in there from Elusion, using both ultimates, sort of sandwiching them in from both angles. And without that Sigma, you don't have as many tools to sort of shut people down. You don't have the barrier, you don't have the kinetic grasp, I think it's called, his fisty hold.
Sure.
Yeah, that one.
That's it.
So yeah, kind of limiting their options, and it looks like they will be swapping over to double shield now for Careless Pandas.
Really seem effective in the first fight that they might have the slightest of ultimate advantages. Choosing a slightly different route to push here. A little bit spread out, weirdly enough. Yeti trying to take a different angle from Bebop here on the point as Nebby starts to lay in the damage. Nixall taken low and taken out. He is Drugs Not Hugs looking for a boot, but Bebop going off like a madman. Player is fortified force out and Kurt laying in the damage, but it's not going to be enough. The kill's not found. The kill feed red. Careless Pandas keeping it alive a little bit longer. Overtime team, what I say.
Yeah, and they have a long road ahead of them, but at least they are able to take the point. Controlling the point is such a difference for Farah. She's able to open up a lot more room, get a lot more cover, and open up a lot more angles, which is very important. Oh, Nebby looks like he's going in for the flank. I don't like this. It's so hard to get out on this.
Oh, he puts it in. Oh, no, well. Oh, and that spells disaster as all of a sudden Kurt looking to push forward aggressively. Not much to keep him out of the sky right now as he rains in damage above the side of Careless Pandas. Seaman looking to get the same amount of value he has in barrage. He used it, he finds 1-2 Kurt, although on the other side, finding one of his own. The kill going almost even both ways. The point, though, still in favor of Careless Pandas, sitting about halfway down for the side of Elusion as the shields are starting to run out. Careless Pandas, time seemingly thinning. Tequin, the halt is found, and so is the kill. Kurt fragging out, finding all sorts of kills, but Bebop finally taking him out of the sky. A little bit longer, he'll hold on to this point, and Nebby needs to find something on this Duke as the halt lands on top of him, and then none of the abilities hit as the Meteor Strike comes in and lands. The Yeti on the point for a little bit more sustainability. The boom comes in and does not find anybody from Jugs Not Hugged, and somehow Careless Pandas managed to hold on to this point.
Yeah, things were really looking good there for a moment. Kurt doing great on this Farah v Farah battle, able to take on Seaman. But I think it just goes to show how hard it can be to take the point away from a double shield team. Yeti went ahead and popped the bongo, and they were just able to sustain and burn down shields long enough. Now, 80-99, last fight territory coming in for Elusion as they have their own Gravitic Flux, which can be a game-ending ultimate.
It's going to be the real test of whether or not they're able to pull it off, and starting out with Nebby dead is not the way you want to go. Seaman in the sky, laying in the damage. Kurt is flying above, looking at 80% on his barrage. The Gravitic Flux is not quite going to be out here. Nix, although first man to use it. Tequin finding a pick on the player is exactly what you need. Seaman fragging out when it matters. Yet he's still alive on the point. The main tank still alive, and the Gravitic Flux in reverse. Thrown out, Gecko taking down to low HP, and they're starting to find the kills. Gecko taking Seaman out of the sky is going to be a lot of damage gone. But the kills in Careless Pandas' favor. They run it back yet again. Antagonist Fort left alive, but player on the ball. Just trying to hold on to as much as he can. Overtime taking down, he finds the slam on the point. The shield's no longer lasting. Kurt might be able to get a touch in here, but 100% to 99. Careless Pandas take the first map of Helios.
Yeah, and a great job there from Careless Pandas to swap back. It seemed like once Bebop got onto that Sigma, they were just unstoppable. He was just mowing people down, walking right in, blasting their face with those little orb things that he shoots. I got no idea what they're called. And getting a lot of damage, and most importantly, the utility and the survivability from his shields, really opening things up for the rest of his team. Nebby finally able to make something happen as he swaps the Doomfist with more space available, and Seaman doing a great job in the Farah vs Farah. As it looks like, wow, we're going to be seeing a Ryan Zarya with no Lucio coming in from Elusion. This really worries me.
No, Lucio is a little bit questionable. Playing into a Doomfist McCree is difficult enough in itself, but player has proven himself up to the task so far this series. The question is, will he be able to get the value, and the punch starts to come in, but player getting shielded by his Zarya. The bubble coming in just in time. They need to get the point pressure down as Gecko takes out Seaman. They're going to be down 1 DPS, but they do have that double shield to keep them alive on point for so long. He might be able to get back just in time. Tequin looking to find some potential boop here into a little bit more pressure. as it looks like Careless Pandas look to surround the point, but they can just hide in this little back corner. Player needs to find a way on top of Careless Pandas before this Doomfist gets back. He's about to be back in a second. Team will find the pick onto Drugs down Hugs. That's going to be Main Heals down for both sides here. Player, though, swinging finally on top of Careless Pandas. Seaman trading back onto Gecko was not enough value. This player's damage on this Reinhardt is going to be enough to hold on this point.
Yeah, there's so much staying power there. Excuse me, from the double shield of Careless Pandas, but they're just not sticking together. I swear I saw every single player on the team not behind the shields thrown out by Yeti. So if they're going to run this, I'd like to see a little more discipline as they try to push back in. Both support ultimates coming out from Elusion. It's going to be a very difficult fight for Careless Pandas coming out next.
I like the swap from Nebby. The Reaper has a lot of potential, especially pressuring a Reinhardt off. And Nixel almost caught out of position here. His bubble force out, and it will be Gecko going down in return. All of a sudden, with an advantage, they will go with it. The Coalescence used by Anoza. They're going to push the point with this. Coalescence going both ways. The player finding a fire strike onto Tequin. Could be bad here. Seaman looking for the pick, and he's going to find the punch, but it's not going to be the kill. The Shatter comes in, finding Nebby. But a massive Rhythmic Flux is going to be keeping his Reaper alive just a little bit longer. Honey, though, will find the res, but 2 kills from Nebby. Looks like it's going to try to be enough here to close out this point. Not too much extended, only 47%. Kurt looking for a massive left possible point, but only finding 2, and it's not enough.
Yeah, I think Kurt's going to want that one back. It looked like the fight was pretty well over. They do get a little bit of extra percentage out of it, but now... Yeah, now Ultimate's coming up. The Bongo and Barrier coming up for Careless Pandas, 2 of the biggest Ultimates in the game. But Gecko and Nick on Elusion with Ultimates of their own. It's going to be a question of positioning. Yeti really the only one who's going to be able to... Well, Nebby as well, going to be able to get out of this Blizzard unassisted.
I think one of the hardest things here is going to be how do you counter this Blizzard? They have the sound barrier for the Graviton Flux, and the Blizzard will be what they engage with. They look to take the point with this one. They have the pressure, but Yeti is holding on his point just barely. The Blizzard not finding any value. Nebby kept off the backline though for just a little bit longer. Nebby though will be getting on the player, and all the kills going red as the ultimate advantage wiped away for the side of the...
Yeah, and it looked like Elusion doing a great job there. Just the superior survivability of the lineup that they're running. And again, running this Rein Zarya without the Lucio, it just takes so many resources to try to get them in on the fight. I feel like this is kind of exposing a weakness on Elusion. They're really favoring this Mercy in situations where I don't think they need it.
Alright, set up on the corner. This was a fantastic place to be for that last fight, but is it for this fight without that Blizzard to worry about? They're up in the corner. The Reinhardt of player needs to engage on him, but Kurt finding the pick on a Nebby. 69%, 70%, ticking down. They're going to hold this point for a good while. They might be able to get this point to 99%, but Seaman needs to find some value, and he needs to find it now. His player finds the charge onto the Orisa. Is the kill not going to come out, but the Shatter is going to be committed. Yeti trading back on a player, but the kill's all blue. As player using his Shatter, they're getting a little bit of ultimate out. The side of Careless Pandas. I don't think you're too mad at that if you're the red team.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad. It was all led by a great charge there from player. Really knowing when to pick when to use that charge. I haven't seen him charge all map other than that, other than for, travel. But yeah, great decision. Able to bully the tanks into a corner and get a big shatter that's able to win his team. So Seaman coming in, I assume it's going to be followed up with a combo or something? No, just kind of going on his own. Very dangerous.
He's going in. He got forced into his Meteor Strike. There he missed his abilities on the Gecko, looking for the kill on the far as the far gets to rain down damage, 87%, taking down on the point. The Gravitic Flux is committed, finds 3 members of Elusion, and the kill will go down to Nick, so it's a lot of damage gone, but Kurt finding 1 with his Death Blossom. Looks like it's going to be enough to hold the point just a little bit longer. The Coalescence to seal it out. 2 members left alive for Careless Pandas. The point ticks down. Overtime in effect. Yeti spawning in on the ball, trying to get a little more value. And it's going to be up to Seaman to find the kills here, but the kill out of Gecko is going to be enough. Seaman touching point, using his Wraith form, maybe a little bit too early there. It's going to be enough to get Tequin onto the point here, but sealed out. This one going to 1-1. Looks like we're going to a 3rd map here on Helios.
Yeah, and that all started off with a very questionable usage of the Meteor Strike. I'm not sure if somebody forced it out of Nebby, but one of the things about Doomfist is you just have to know when to cut your losses. You have to accept when you punch out and you're not going to be able to kill anybody, and use your abilities to just save yourself. And same goes with the ultimate. If there's no opportunity to make the meteor strike work, just use it to get back to your team. A little greedy there from Nebby, and it ends up costing Careless Pandas going into stage 3. They are on the ropes. They cannot lose any more maps, down 1-3 against Elusion here.
Player lining up with that Reinhardt once more. He's going to be looking for a few bigger shatters here. I think he hasn't quite been getting the value that you can out of it against Arista Sigma. Of course, Yeti and Bebop have honestly looked fairly good all night. And Seaman and Nebby lining back up on this Reaper Doomfist, looking to put a little bit more work in. Gecko on the Pharah, looking to rein in around this point. The question is, will they be able to kill this Reinhardt before the Pharah puts in the damage? They will be the first people to point. Player looking to get the test with that Zarya bubble will get taken out pretty quickly. Zarya with both of her cooldowns off, but Gecko finding the pick on a Nebby with all these angles around the point. It's so difficult for Careless Pandas to hold on any longer. Kurt inside the back line. Careless Pandas, it looks like the damage is coming in for Elusion, and this Ryan swinging like a madman, but his health dropping dangerously low. One kill going each way, but it looks like it's going to be closed out as Nixfall and Gecko. One of the kills on the tanks of Careless Pandas would be enough to win them this point.
Yeah, and just such a high damage lineup coming in from Elusion. If you're not able to pressure that Ryan and he just gets into your backline and starts swinging, people are going to go down fast. And with the Pharah, they just weren't able to do enough. So Ultimate's coming up here for Elusion, and after the swaps from Careless Pandas, they're going to be set for quite a few fights. It's going to be difficult to stop this one from snowballing, so we're going to need something to happen right now from Careless Pandas.
Charge left into the Shatter. Looks like it's not going to be blocked. A massive one out of player. Nexal's going to be the man to follow it up. That high charge Zarya is dealing plenty of damage right now. Maybe on point, finding one pick, but honestly, he's just staggering himself at this point. Tries to punch off the map, and he's running away for dear life. Tequin's still alive, running to point and running away instantly. He might get taken out here, and that's not a stagger you want to see if you're Careless Pandas. 48% on the point.
Yeah, kind of a cute play coming in from Nebby, but it really doesn't pan out. He gets the first pick, but after that, he's just costing his team some extra percentage. And it looks like they will pop the Coalescence from Inozo. Just trying to pressure rule down. They're able to take down Nick. He's not able to get the grab. So now so much pressure coming in on the point from Careless Pandas. Oh, the charge from player. He's able to take down Yeti.
Damage out of this Zarya is not done yet. Bebop alive outside of the point, and the only thing keeping him out there is Gecko's Pharah, dealing so much damage, but Nebby taking out Drugs and Hug. There's going to be a lot of that healing gone. Honey, though, finding the res onto his support teammate, and the Farmer see the only thing left alive for Careless Pandas with 80%. Their playoff on the line. This is it. It's now or never.
Yeah, they have to win this next fight. The only tool they have available right now is this barrage coming in from Seaman. So much pressure on him. He's moving over towards the point. I think he has to try to get the touch as well. Nobody else is really in position. They're able to take down Nebby.
96%. The touch comes in. The barrage comes in as well. Looking to burn through this Reinhardt shield, and he will be getting the kill as well as Yeti. Oh no, Honey, the score's going down to Kurt. Looking to end this one. The Death Blossom comes in, and he does not go down. The barrage though from Gecko looks like it might just be enough. Finds 1 kill, 2 kill onto the tanks in the point. Overtime ticks down, and Elusion look to move on in these playoffs.
Elusion taking it 4-1. They have looked so great all night. So much aggression from this team. And Careless Pandas, I think they really showed a lot of weakness. There were times that they were just not playing disciplined, and times that they looked completely unsure of what to do.
Yeah, similar plays. These players, obviously, they're playing at a pretty similar skill levels, just these slight team mistakes that Careless Pandas were making. That was costing them a lot of time, a lot of pushes, and their playoff hopes.
Yeah, definitely a heartbreaker there from Careless Pandas. They did not play poorly. Elusion just looked so strong all night. Got to give a lot of credit to basically the whole line. There were a lot of fights that were being held together by great decision making from the support line. I didn't see the tanks screw up very often, which is kind of the hallmark there. You're just kind of looking to hold things together and open up space in these double shield lineups. They were more efficient with their ability usage when the Bastion v Bastion happened. They were doing a great job keeping the Bastion alive, and great pop-off moments from Kurt all night.
Yeah, everything coming together to lead you guys with Elusion into the semifinals of this Harmony tier. Of course, quarterfinals aren't quite done. Wednesday, we have a pretty good matchup coming up for you at 8 p.m. this time, not 8:30 notably. It will be Maelstrom versus Holy Jalapenos. Holy Jalapenos have their work cut out for themselves up against a strong Maelstrom. And then Sunday, we have one more match, which I don't think I have exactly who those teams are, but it should be at 8:30 at the same time, same place, 8:30, Overwatch Tranquility, twitch.tv. You know exactly where to be for tonight. Elusion have been the winners. They move on to semis. I have been Door at Door_OW on Twitter, and this has been my buddy Juke. You want to send us out?
Yeah, that is at friend Juke on Twitter and Twitch. Thanks to Poet for production tonight. We're sorry about the colorblind thing. It's hard to notice when you're actually colorblind, so that's why that happens. But yeah, great match. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. We will see you again on Wednesday for Holy Jalapenos versus Maelstrom starting at 8. We will also have live updates on all the other matches. There will be a lot of them going on. And Sunday we have Eclipse versus One Last Ride. That is going to be a great match as well.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. We will catch you again on Wednesday. See you later.
Experience tranquility.